Good evening. If you're here, that means you know what time it is. It's time to wine with Wanda. Here we are again. Thank you for tuning in to episode 7 of my Instagram live series. And I just want to thank all of you for tuning in, for your encouraging comments during the show, and for those that you sent afterwards. So I'm raising a glass to each of you out there. So today's guest is someone I'm really excited to meet because we've never met before, and that's the beauty of this platform. And our guest today is Joan Kautz. She's the co-owner and vice president of international operations for Ironstone Vineyards in the Sierra foothills of California. Now, for those of us who maybe paid attention in our history classes in school, we know that the Sierra foothills were the epicenter of the California gold rush. But what many people don't realize, it also has a very rich winemaking history. And the Kautz family has played a very important role in this history. They settled in Lodi in 1926. They opened their first winery in 1958. And this family business has just grown and expanded over the years. And their holdings now include more than 5,000 acres. So in 4 generations, they've accomplished quite a bit. And they protect this legacy and those acres using sustainable viticulture practices. Today, we're going to be tasting 2 wines from Ironstone, Chardonnay 2018 and Cabernet Franc Reserve 2017. And both of these are available on their website as a specially priced duo of $37. So that's quite a deal because normally the Cabernet Franc Reserve by itself is $28. So we're going to get into the wines later. Now I'm going to bring the lovely Joan Kautz into the show. So let's make this happen. Waiting for Instagram to do the magic as always. This is the moment where we all say a little prayer. I think it's working. I see a window. I see Joan.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi, Joan. Lovely to meet you.
You too.
Thank you for being here, for sending the wines and being such a trooper.
Thank you for your patience.
Great. Well, how are things out there in your neck of the woods? We're all experiencing this shutdown and COVID-19 a bit differently, depending on where we are. I hope you and your family are all safe.
We're doing well. Things in California, I think, feel like they're a lot better off than what's happening in New York. But like everyone else, we're just getting through, and we've got lots of bright sunshine, and we'll have some good weather to make all of our spirits happier.
That's why I miss that California sunshine. I went to school in Southern California, so when we meet in person one day, I'll tell you about my California girl adventures.
Perfect.
So, compared to old world wine regions, California has a relatively young history, but it's still very rich and very impressive. And, your family's connection spanning 4 generations. I just wondered, did you ever have any doubt that you would join the family business, or you kind of knew that you wanted to continue?
When I went away to school, I had said that I was not coming back to Lodi. As you know, I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and that was my
great.
So I wasn't coming back. Never say never. When I graduated.
Oh, we seem to have lost Joan. Let's see if we can get her back. I hope I didn't scare her off already. I know I can be a bit extra sometimes, but let's see if they get back on the call here. I'm going to add her back in. That's the beauty of live. You never know what's going to happen. Someone left a comment. I hope my kids run our vineyard one day. Hey, you're back.
There we are.
Here we are. All right. So you were talking about you went to college, San Luis Obispo, and said, I'm never coming back.
Yeah, I said that I wasn't coming back. And when I did graduate and I came back because I didn't have a job, I realized what I was looking for was actually sitting right in front of me. So I started the international business.
That's wonderful. And that's come in handy. You're the VP of International Operations. You've had that position since 1993. So you're clearly very good at it. Your family's wines are sold in 50 countries around the world. That's really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a lot of hard work.
I can imagine. I'm just wondering, how do you tell the story of Lodi and the Sierra foothills abroad when, maybe it's not as well known as other California AVAs, even in the USA? So where do you start with that story of explaining this region and what makes it special?
Yeah, well, starting with the Lodi appellation, you know, I always start with, for international, I start with, okay, here's San Francisco, and we're about 90 miles due east, and tell them, you know, tell people how great this appellation is and how long it's been in existence, and really the fact that for so many years Lodi was making wines that went to all of the other appellations. So now that Lodi itself is you know, producing Lodi appellated wines, the recognition is continuing to grow. And so as a region, it's really coming up that Lodi has its nice warm days, warm summer
Mm-hmm.
days, and cool breezes at night. So it's ideal for growing wine grapes. When you go to the Sierra Foothills is less known even than Lodi, but it's the heart of the gold rush country, so people know that. And I always say that the town of Murphy is it sits between Lake Tahoe and Yosemite National Park.
Oh,
So
wow. Great
it's
location.
gorgeous up there.
Wonderful. You know, I know all of the wineries are still not open to visitors because of the pandemic, but I hear you have quite the extraordinary experience that you offer there. So I love it. Maybe you can just transport us a little bit. You know, you have your tastings, but you offer quite a bit.
You know, visiting Ironstone is can make for an incredible weekend, a day or a weekend. The winery, when my parents were creating Ironstone, they wanted to create a winery that they felt was unique and special to their hearts. They love music, they love flowers, they love all the arts around it. And what they did was, besides having obviously a tasting room and deli, we have normally we have a summer concert series. Unfortunately, that won't happen this year. We
With big
also have,
names, I should say. I saw Steve Miller Band was the
yeah,
upcoming act, which is pretty
yes,
huge.
I know. I think that's in 2021 now.
Yeah.
But no, they have some great artists. I mean, we have the concerts are a blast too. So it's really a cross section of all genres because we want to have as many people come up and experience a day at Ironstone and a great concert and everything. Just have fun. Um, but as I had mentioned with the Gold Country, we actually have the world's largest gold piece on display at the winery. So it's a
Oh, wow.
44-pound piece of gold.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Well, maybe we should let the wines transport us there now. Since I can't be there, that's what wine is for. So I guess we're going to start with the Chardonnay
Yes,
2018.
let's start with a Chardonnay.
So I have to admit, I cheated a little. I did have a little sip earlier. It's been that
That's
kind of
okay.
day.
We need that sometimes.
Really lovely. You know, there's a richness to it, but it's not overwhelming. It's very crisp and lively, just a little creamy, but not over the top.
Yeah, so what we were trying to do when we created this Chardonnay is it has about 5 months with new French oak. So that's where you're getting that creaminess. We wanted to not be a big buttery style of
Mm-hmm.
Chardonnay. We wanted to have some of those nuances, but also have that freshness. So it's kind of a combination. This is 100% Chardonnay, and you know, you get just such nice tropical notes and a little bit of sweet oak in there.
Mm-hmm.
Some green apples and red apples.
Really nice. It has a nice body to it. It's not too big. It's not too light. It's just kind of in that sweet spot, I think.
That's what we go for, is a sweet spot.
And I understand you source these grapes from different Lodi sub-appellations to add a bit more complexity. You're getting different soil types and micro terroirs coming together in the bottle.
We do, and you know, as you mentioned earlier, we have a lot of vineyards, and so we have the ability to really select the different sub AVAs that are our vineyards that we want for our wines. So we like to use a little bit of the McCollum River, which is kind of Lodi proper, and you get some more of the Pacific Ocean breezes coming through. We also source out of some of our Slough House vineyards, which is north of Lodi. So a little bit warmer with little bit of elevation. So again, you're just being able to blend those different styles of grapes to create the style of Chardonnay that we're after.
Great. And this is, I have to say, really such a great buy. I know we have them now as a set, so you can get the Chardonnay along with the Cab Franc together for $37. But I think normally the Chardonnay by itself sells for about 14 or so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So really a great buy. A lot of intentional winemaking here. Very thoughtful.
Thank you.
So I was so excited when you sent the Cabernet Franc because it is one of my favorite varietal wines. I really do love it.
Cabernet. I love Cabernet Franc, and we actually produce two styles of Cabernet Franc. One in the Ironstone label, the white label that you were just showing, and then we have our Reserve Cabernet Franc.
I'll show the Reserve again so everyone can see it. This is the Reserve. So what is it that you love so much about Cab Franc?
You know, it's such a pretty variety, and pretty sounds funny, but it's that floralness that comes from Cabernet Franc. The beauty of California Cabernet Francs in particular is that because of our sunshine and our warm days and pretty consistent weather, you can really allow the grapes to hang on the vine and ripen. So you get really nice full flavors, because you have to be careful because you can get a little greenness in some Cabernet Francs, a little bell pepper.
True.
And you might see that, but you get all of those pretty notes around it.
Yeah, this one, the aroma is just very captivating. It's just black fruit and a little bit of spice. It's just kind of sashaying across, you know, your nose there. It's really, really pretty.
It is. You get a lot of just like nice black cherries, a little plum.
Oh, that's nice.
One thing that is unique, because this is now Sierra Foothills appellation, is it comes off of our estate vineyards in Murphy's. And one thing that's quite unique up there is the soils are really red, so a lot of iron. There's also a lot of calcium through the soils. There's a lot of volcanic. The vines have to struggle a bit more, so that's where you're getting that nice richness to the grapes. But you see in all of the Sierra Foothill wines that we produce, you get a nice mineral note throughout them.
Definitely a mineral iron, kind of slightly meaty, but in an elegant way.
Yes, definitely.
What do you like to pair with this? Do you have some favorite pairings?
You know, with this, a big, nice grilled steak is always lovely.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah, you can't beat that. My husband is a perfectionist with barbecue, so it's even better. Also, I think it would go well with some like a rack of lamb or something, because you get kind of those earthier characters to it. Maybe a big stew or a big pasta dish. And, you know, you could never leave out a nice dessert of chocolate of some sort.
Lovely. And definitely aging potential on this, I think, is pretty fabulous. It has that structure, the acidity. So it's delicious now, this vintage. But I think, you know, even 5 to 10 years from now, you really see some more complexity come out of this bottle.
I think so. And we have some older vintages that we try here and there. And it really does, it continues to evolve in the bottle. But as you can tell with the tannin structure, you have all the structure there. They're not the big astringent tannins, so you can really enjoy it now, but absolutely with some aging potential.
Wonderful. Well, one of the fun things I like to do with my guests, you know, I think all of us who work in the wine industry have pet peeves and things that drive us crazy. So this is your moment to whine about it. So what drives you crazy? Either a trend or a misconception that people may have about wine?
Oh, not someone leaving their blinker on when they're driving?
That too.
Because that one really drives me crazy.
I'm sure.
You know, I don't know that there's any misconceptions, maybe a little bit about the Lodi appellation. I think that people there might be some perception that it's a big appellation, that it's warm, that the wines are not as expensive. But what you've seen in the last 10, 15 years is some absolutely amazing wines coming out of Lodi. You know, some really high-end wines that are winning all sorts of awards all over the world. So I don't know if that's not necessarily a pet peeve, but maybe a little bit of a misconception about what Lodi is. And, you know, Lodi's got a lot going for it. It's really, really exciting.
No, that's a great one, and it's so true. I think so many of us are guilty when we think of California wines. There are only two eight regions that we really think of, and there's so many more and so much more exciting,
Yeah.
things happening. And Lodi definitely is one I'm hearing a lot of buzz about. So it's
It's
exciting.
getting more and more buzz, which is just, you know, it's fantastic. There's, like I said, there's about 80 wineries through Lodi, and it's just doing an amazing job as an appellation. And, you know, we all get along. We all work well together, and we're all trying to build.
That's great. So what about the next generation? I know you have two daughters. Are they have they caught the wine bug? Are they interested at this stage in their lives?
Um, no, but I will fully admit that I'm starting to tap into my 15-year-old daughter and a couple of her friends for photo inspiration. Um,
Ah,
so she's the older one is teaching in Arroyo Grande in California, so she's a fifth grade teacher.
oh, that's
She,
wonderful.
yeah, she enjoys wine and she likes having it with us. The 15-year-old doesn't like anything other than water for the most part, which is okay. But she's been having fun as we kind of redesign packaging, and
Oh, fun.
she likes that the more artistic part of it right now. So she's been busy doing that, and you know, now that they're on an extended break, she's going to be doing a little more photography for us too.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. And I should mention, we have these two wines during our tasting, but your portfolio is quite extensive. So you have Cabernet Sauvignon, you have Tempranillo, you're doing all kinds of interesting things. You have canned wines.
We do, yeah. We have Obsession Can Wines, three
Hmm.
wines there, and you know that's just, I mean, that's a fun project, and it's an exciting project. Within the, you know, the Ironstone range, within both of these, we have a full range of wines from obviously the Chardonnay to Pinot Noir to Petite Syrah to Old Vine Zinfandel, Cabernet Sauvignon,
Yeah.
Meritage, all sorts of things.
No, it's wonderful. I'm going to show these two again for folks that have just joined. So Chardonnay 2018 and Reserve Cabernet Franc 2017. If you go to their website, you can get these lovely wines as a dynamic duo for a special price of $37. You can also look for them at your local retailers. You have very good distribution through Quintessential Wines. And if you
Yes.
go to their website, quintessentialwines.com, you can find a retailer near you. So look for Ironstone. Well, Joan, it's been so much fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again.
Yes, I hope we get to meet in person one
Let's
day,
let's do
someday.
it in person. I mean,
Yes.
virtual is nice, but let's do it in person.
And, and when you read book Steve Miller, if you need someone on backup with the tambourine, I'm
Okay.
there.
All right. We'll call you in.
Well, thank you so much. Really, this is such a great introduction to your wines. Really, really lovely.
Thank you so much.
Hey, cheers. Stay safe,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.
Bye.